So now let's proceed to we have the H1 here. Now you can see that H1 was opened here and it was closed here. Our P was opened here and was what? It was also closed here. It was opened here and was also what? Here. Are you with me now? So let's copy this code, or rather, let's go to our VS Code and type these codes out. Okay. If you have VS Code on your machine or your system, you can easily join me and let's do this together. So let's move to our VS Code. Okay, good. So we have our VS Code open and now we want to write our HTML. The first thing we want to do is to what? Declare our document type. Okay. So I'm going to open I'm going to write this doc type. Remember what doc type means? Document type. Okay. HTML. Okay. Then we'll close it. Okay. Then we'll come down. We have declared our document type with HTML. Okay. Next thing we want to do is we want to write HTML, right? Okay, good. Let's open our HTML tag. Okay. HTML tag. Good. Then we close it. Can you see now that we closed it here? Okay. So you don't need to close your document type. It's not needed. Okay. But your HTML, you open it and you what? And you close it. Oh, remember this is HTML basics. Okay. So we are not going into anything deep for now. In our next class, we're going to be talking about HTML elements. But for now, we are just trying to understand the basics of HTML. Okay, good. So now inside our HTML, okay, we want to have our body. Okay, want to have our body. What's going to be on our website body? Okay, let's open our body tag. Okay, let's open our body tag. Now see that we open our body tag and we closed it. So remember that this closing, you close with what? You close with a slash. Okay, maybe we should you close with a slash. Okay. So please, let's take note of that. You close with a what? With a slash. Okay. So I just made a comment now. Okay. I just made a comment on this code. Okay. You close with a slash, and this is a slash. Let's put it in so that you can easily identify that. Okay. So we are closing with this with a slash. Okay. So please take note of that. So everything we open is closed. Now HTML basics. So let's say we want to have a big text, like a big text. This is my website. Okay. That's going to be like an header. Okay, so just think about something that is big. Apparently it's going to be an header, right? It's good. So let's just H1, okay, and say this is my first website. If this is your first website, then we are right. And if this is not your first website, when you are trying to practice yours, you can put this is my 5th website, this is my 10th website, anyone you like. So let's Control S and then let's view in live server. So let's view in live server and let's see what we have. Okay. This is my first website. Can you see now? So we are writing on the body of this page. Okay, we are writing on the body of this page. Is that clear now? So we have let's go back to our manual for today's class. Okay, good. So we said we have what? Our H1 first, okay? And we have our P next. You know what P? P means paragraph, okay? P means paragraph because paragraphs are smaller in size compared to header. When you say something is an header, it means there is emphasis on it. It's going to be bolder, it's going to be clearer, it's going to be bigger. When something is a paragraph, it's just like a subtitle describing. You understand? Let's take an example from TechiesReign website. Okay, so I'm going to come here to TechiesReign website. I'm going to take an example from here. Okay, let's look at this website development. Okay, part of our services. You can see it's big, it's bold, visible. Okay, this can be an header, or this is an header. Then we have a P tag here, this paragraph. Okay, you can see that it's smaller compared to the header here. Okay, so that is the difference. So you need to understand where to use your header and where to use your paragraph while building your website. You use your header to lay emphasis, to create attention, okay, to start a particular section. Okay, so very important that you know when and where to use your H tags. So now we have H1 to H6. Okay, we have H1 to H6 and we are still coming there. Okay, but we just want to make a quick demo of what we have in our example box here. Okay, so let's quickly add our P to it. So here we have inside our body, we have our H1. Now, please note that we are writing this H1 inside our body. Okay, it is in between our open body and our closed body. Do you know why? Because everything we want to write on this page should be inside the body. Okay, good. So let's come back here and let's add a paragraph to that. Okay, let's add a paragraph to that and let's call it this. Okay, let's open our P tag. Okay, see that it was closed. Okay, so I want to add, this is my first paragraph. This is my first paragraph. Let's save it. Okay, and let's come back to our page. This is my first paragraph. Can you see the difference between the this is my website and this is my first paragraph? One is carrying the head tag, while the other is carrying the what? The P tag. Okay, the P tag. Hope you get it now. Please take note of it. Okay, good. So let's go back to our manual for today, for today's class. So let's proceed. So we said doc type is just a declaration for document type. Okay, so doc type declaration represents the document type we want to write. It helps the browser to display web pages correctly. You know, your browser cannot understand your normal English, your day-to-day English, but this is the language your browser understands and can answer to and give you response to. So let's proceed. Now we have the heading. Okay, so now this HTML heading. So and we usually do that with H, represent that with H. Okay, so then that's, of course, that's the initials of heading. Heading starts with H, right? Good. So we have H1 to H6. Okay, so we have H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. Okay, now as it goes up from H1 to H2 to H3, the sizes begin to decline. Okay, let's take an example. Okay, let's use our website for example. Okay, this is an header, this is an H class, this is an H tag, this is also another H tag. Okay, but you understand this initial one is bigger than this one. Okay, apparently this might be H2 or H1, while this happens to be H3 or H4. Do you get the idea now? So that is how it operates. Let's take an example here. We are going to clean our paragraph here. Okay. So now, not that we have H1 already, so we want to have H1 to H6 now. So H1, so we already have H1. Let's do H2. So we are going to be pasting our words inside of each tag. So we have H2 here. We are going to paste it there. So we are moving to H3. So I want you to see how it is declining in size, so you know where to use each of them on your website. It's not just about building a website, it's about knowing where to use your tag, how to use your tag properly. Okay, so where you're supposed to use H1, you won't use H5. Okay, and also note that this also helps in your SEO, your search engine optimization. As we proceed in this class, we'll talk about that, but for now, let's stick to this. So H6. Okay, so let's paste that here. Good, and let's save. Now let's go and see how it is declining. Can you see now? H1, H2, let's highlight them. 1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and what? 6. So if you use H6, you're supposed to use H1, there'll be a problem on your website because people will not be able to read it. Okay, but there are places where you will need to use H6. You need just something tiny to display there. So always note where to use your what? Your H1 to H6. Very, very important. So let's go back to our manual. The next thing I want to talk about is HTML paragraphs. This is just one that it can only be, except you want to have, but P is just the general symbol for paragraph. Okay, so we can have, let's say we have a paragraph here. So let's say we have, let's cancel all of this. Then let's write our paragraph P. Okay, now we have closed that. I want to write, this is my paragraph, my first paragraph, so to say. Okay, this is my first paragraph. Okay, let's save it and let's come back to our page. This is our paragraph. Can you see how small it is? It's a paragraph. Okay, so it's usually small. Okay, so it doesn't need to be big. It's not a showy kind of tag. Okay, so you need to understand that, so you know where and when to use that tag. Okay, good. So let's move on. We have the link